I don't even know. do one more up because that's what we have a lot.
So annoying saying.